Great. Welcome, everybody. I just finished up a video yesterday, got a lot of comments on it regarding med beds, med bed type technology that's available right now. I was asked, Food Goddess 50 and others said, hey, you know what? You need to go live. And so we're working on doing the live thing. And that's kind of what we're up to now. And you can see we're here at our location. We've got a lot of technology here. So the goal is to answer questions and to also get questions and answers about technology that's available and also to get more information out there directly from people that are watching the video. I guess we'll go into some of the things that we had talked about previously, which was the med beds, med bed technology. What is a med bed? That whole subject basically can be a little bit vast, but it's basically technology that's out there that is getting ready to be released to the public. There is a time and place where that'll be done. Not sure exactly when that's going to be, but that is the kind of technology that everybody's really hearing a lot about. So I'm going to open up the chat, and this is the first one that I've done here for live streaming. So you're just going to have to be patient with me here. But we've got a lot of technology that's here right now. And so for anybody that's out there that has watched our channel, that has seen some of our videos, basically what we're doing is we're showcasing some of the more current technology that's out there right now and in the health and wellness, energy and frequency based world. And this gets into Tesla technology. This gets into a whole host of different types of technology. Um, and it gets into the med bed technology, which that video I did yesterday has gotten a lot of attention on various channels, Rumble, BitChute, Bridion, obviously YouTube. And so want to do a follow up with that to be able to answer questions. And I think moving forward, we're going to start doing more lives and getting more questions and answers from people regarding different things that they might have questions about. The goal of all the technology really is just to maintain better health and wellness, right? Live longer, live healthier, live happier, and improve quality of life to a longer age. And so that is the ultimate goal. And there's a lot of little small pieces of technology that are out there that I absolutely love. Now, I don't know if anybody caught this yesterday, but when I was doing the video, I woke up. What day was it? Today's Friday. So I guess I woke up Wednesday. Wednesday morning, man, I had the chipmunk thing going on this side of my mouth. And I basically developed an abscess, and it was swollen, and I had to go out of town, and I had to meet with some medical companies. I'm in the medical equipment industry, for anybody that doesn't know, so we still do a lot with medical equipment sales, and I'm like, oh man, this is not good, man. This is definitely not good. But being that I've got a lot of access to a lot of different technology, I said, well, I think I can squash this, and it's still in the process of being done. It's definitely not completed, but basically what I did is I took this terahertz wand, which is a great device. I don't know if anybody's seen these, but I'll be quiet for a second here and turn it. So basically, this thing throws off. It throws off far infrared terahertz frequency. It has quartz crystal, and it has a culmination of different types of technologies that it has inside, and basically, it's really helped reduce the swelling and inflammation. So that's been a huge reduction in that since I've gotten that used that. Maybe just 5 or 10 minutes in the morning, 5 or 10 minutes in the evening. This is the 7.0. This is probably one of our top sellers. I think these are 450, maybe $500. They're not real expensive, but they're used a lot for Stiffness, soreness, arthritis. People use them a lot on their knees, their shoulders, their hips, their back, and it's very good for obviously inflammation. So for the issue that I was dealing with, it was super helpful, right? It was super helpful to have that because it's really brought down the swelling a lot in just 2 days, and, that for me has been fantastic. So, I would give it a couple more days, and also in addition to that, I was taking, oregano oil capsules. Oregano oil is also really good for reduction of inflammation. So, that's another, little thing. For me, if anybody knows me, anytime I'm talking about anything related to, anything related to health and wellness, it's always about layering technology, right? So the more technology that you can, get into your hands, the more technology you can get into your daily lifestyle, obviously, the better. And the other stuff that we have that I also really feel is highly, uh, important is the, anti-aging, products, the grounding bed sheets and bed covers, and I'm gonna put this up here. This is a, it's so funny, everything here is backwards. If you look at that real close, you're gonna see that that is, silver, and it's actually coiled silver, and, that goes through the entire fabric. This is just kind of a piece of fabric as sort of a demo piece, but and it plugs into the grounding outlet. So you can see here, basically it's going to plug in. No electricity, just the grounding outlet. And outside of every single home in the United States, you have a grounding plug or a grounding rod, which is a copper rod, and that copper rod basically goes into the ground. And if there's ever a surge in electrical energy, it'll run that electrical energy into that grounding outlet and neutralize it in the earth. So, lightning strike or a surge of electrical energy, and that's what the grounding outlet's for. But since it's a copper rod outside the home, that copper rod can bring the electrical energy from the earth because the copper rod obviously is conductive. Bring it into the outlet. From the outlet, you plug it in, and then it goes into the fabric. And like I was just showing here, um, with all that coiled silver, that's also conductive. And so that brings that grounding energy into your body. So when you're touching on this fabric, it's non-different than if you were laying out on the ground or laying out in your front yard. So that is one of the really nice things about grounding is that you don't have to be outside to do it. And so the goal is to be grounded as much during the day as possible, but also when you go to sleep at night. So the top selling things that we offer, which have the most value for the least amount of money, would be the anti-aging bed covers, anti-aging um, pillowcases, and the anti-aging blankets, because you can literally wrap yourself up with this electrical energy coming from the earth, and the earth energy resonates at the same frequency that your body does, which is called the Schumann resonance. And so that Schumann resonance brings electrons into the body, brings that electrical energy in the body. It pulls positive electrical energy out of the body, which you don't want. They call it positive, but it's actually not. It's positive charged. And so that prevents you from storing up a lot of excess electrical energy through routers, Wi-Fi, and all the different things we're exposed to, electrical outlets. So it basically grounds you, pulls that out. And then in addition to that, it brings those electrons into the body, which neutralize free radicals and basically prevent inflammation buildup in the body. And so the cells in the body that cause inflammation are referred to as free radicals, and they are cells missing electrons throughout the daily course of your body. They are basically what's happening is that as the body's replacing bad cells, electrons or free radicals come in with the white blood cell. The white blood cell releases a free radical. It chews up the bad cell. And when you're touching the earth and your body's full of electrons, the free radical would basically absorb an electron, go about its way, and it's done. But when you're not touching the earth and you're not making contact with the earth, you're basically what we would say is you're electron deficient. And so when you don't have electrons, what happens is that when those free radicals are done with their job of chewing up a bad cell and the body doesn't have an electron to neutralize it, it strips an electron from a healthy cell. And when it strips an electron from a healthy cell, it sets off a chain reaction because now that healthy cell is not healthy. The white blood cell is another one's being sent to replace the cell now that was just damaged. And it basically sets off a chain reaction, which is a chain reaction of a buildup of free radical cells, which are unstable cells, which are really the primary source of inflammation. And it's referred to as silent inflammation because it's not inflammation that you would get from twisting your ankle. That's going to be clear, a lot of swelling inflammation there. But this is silent inflammation. And so that silent inflammation is basically causing a whole hazardous group of things. But the main thing is you're always waking up stiff and sore, always have creaky joints, sore this, sore that. And so when your body touches the earth, you're immediately absorbing millions, like electrons just get absorbed instantly into the body over just a few minutes of time. But being that we're all wearing rubber sole shoes and we're not making contact with the earth, we're a lot of us are what we would say electron deficient. And so when you're grounded and when you're, plugging in this technology, like I said, to your grounding outlet and then using silver. And the one thing about this as well is that it's coiled silver. It's not strands of silver, and you can see there's a lot of silver in there. 40% of the surface of this is actually silver, but that's conductive, right? And so now you're non-different than actually making contact with the earth. Your body is absorbing those electrons, you're neutralizing free radicals, it's reducing swelling, inflammation, and all those different things. So that is really important. Like the core base thing that you've got to be doing in just without even getting into any fancy schmancy technology is just, get make contact with the earth. But in this day and age, it's not as easy as it seems. And we lead busy lives and we don't have leather sole shoes. And so getting a fabric or a material, whether it's just a pillowcase or it's, these are actually called BioShield stations. They're used for just putting underneath your desk. You can put them up on your desktop so your hands are on them, while you're typing, and and then you can also put them on your chair. There's a Dr. Mercola who's very well known. Dr. Mercola is based out of Florida. Um, Uh, Hi, Diane. Yes, you can purchase. They're at Healthy Life Technology. I can type that in, but as you know, being a guy, I cannot multitask, so I either have to talk or type, and I will. But if you could go to Healthy Life Technology, or if you want to type that into the chat for me, that would be awesome. Thank you. Yeah. So, but this is really a core-based technology. Like you really need this in place before you're getting into any other stuff, right? And my goal really with any and all this technology is to get the technology that has the greatest benefit and the most value for the least amount of money, right? Find the technology that's the most affordable. And so, the grounding technology is definitely going to be at the very top of the list because when you're sleeping grounded, you're getting better rest, your body's getting better recovery. Now, when you're using the blanket, the bed cover, and the pillowcase, that also does have far infrared. So, in addition to having the coiled silver, you also have little nanotechnology, which is a culmination of amethyst, tourmaline, and other crystals that when your body makes contact with that, releases far infrared. So, in addition to getting all the benefits of grounding, you're also getting all the benefits of far infrared. And here in our studio, and this is our one of our med bed technology rooms, um, we have far infrared lights. Like I actually have them right next to me, and I could sit here literally and turn on and be bathing in far infrared. If I turn those lights on, everything in the backdrop is going to be 100% red. And so you kind of lose all the color in that. But if you are if you're basically going to sleep and you're getting far infrared, it does reduce the need necessarily to get in front of red lights. And red light technology is exploding also, mainly because there's a lot of published science, it's FDA approved. And so a lot of people now are really, really, really big on red light. Like at our fitness club, ACAC here in Short Pump, Richmond, Virginia, they have red light saunas now where we go in and we have access to red light saunas. And even a lot of this technology is making itself into the mainstream. But to get back to the grounding technology, when you're sleeping on this grounding fabric and your body absorbs electrons, one of the first things it does is it declusters the red blood cells, right? So when you're short on electrons, one of the first things that happens is that it compromises. Thank you. It compromises the structure of the red blood cell wall, and so instead of the red blood cell wall being round circular and sort of repelling other cells or other red blood cells, they start to coagulate. They start to cluster and clump. And then obviously when your red blood cells are clustering and clumping, you're going to have issues with putting pressure on your heart because now you have to push that blood through through your body, and that blood is it's obviously is coagulated, so it's putting additional pressure, which puts more stress and strain on the body, the heart, the whole thing. So within 30 minutes to an hour, or even within 2 hours, you can see significant progress with the body getting those electrons into the system and starting to decluster and declump the blood, right? And so that is a huge benefit as well. And then we get in, as I was talking earlier, about the inflammation, swelling, soreness. And if anybody has any questions, I know we're starting to. This is my first live, right? So in a perfect world, I probably should say, "Hey, I'm doing a live tomorrow at 1 o'clock," and kind of put a heads up out there. But with that being said, I've been asked many times to start doing these, and I said, "Oh, you know what? Let me just kind of fumble through this." So that's kind of where we're at right now with our first live call. Um, but like what the subject is currently is just, technologies that are simple, that are easy to use, that you can plug in, that have benefit for the entire family. You do not need to be, you don't need to, I mean, for kids, for moms, dads, gifts, whatever, everybody should be sleeping grounded. Like the benefits of that are astronomically important. And the level or the quality of sleep that you get is, is, um, is very, very good. So there's actually published sleep studies that show that you get up to 20% deeper REM sleep. It does also show that you reduces anxiety, reduces depression. It helps obviously when you get the far infrared. One of the things that the far infrared does that's built into the grounding bed covers and bed sheets is that it stimulates the mitochondria within the cell. The mitochondria within the cell produce a substance called ATP. And ATP is like your energy source. It's what your body runs on for energy. And when your body is exposed to red light, it increases the production of ATP. And so then obviously the body has more energy. And it also just gives you better overall night's rest. One of the things that you'll notice if you start to sleep grounded is that when you wake up, you're not waking up lethargic and you just kind of want to lay there and not get out of bed, and it's not like, hey, it's a rainy day and you still have that ability where you're like, oh, I don't know. But you do feel much more rested and it does get you up in a much quicker time frame and you feel ready to go. That's one of the things about being grounded that's really very helpful. So I would highly recommend this healthylifetechnology.com, the website. Diane put it up there, or maybe didn't put it up there. We'll put it up there. But healthylifetechnology.com. Once I get the video posted, I will have that link down below for everybody to go through. So that'll be another thing that people can look for. The other thing, I'm going to get back to the terahertz wand. I ran this for just a minute earlier. I'm just going to turn it on again. And These are really amazing little devices. I absolutely love these. On our YouTube channel here, where we've got this video posted under testimonials, you will see some very profound testimonials with what this technology can do. Now, the terahertz wand basically is really good for stiffness, soreness, arthritis, like I talked about earlier. A lot of people will use these for internal organs. So if you're having issues with kidney, liver, lungs, different things, this wand, when you point that light, will actually penetrate about 8 or 9 inches deep into the body, so you can literally reach just about everything. So people use it for um, liver, kidneys, heart, but I mean, I use it a lot. It's used a lot for face, like I can show you. Um, I'll just put it, up along my face. It's really good for wrinkles. Um, I use it a lot on mouth, teeth, and gums just to keep my mouth, teeth, and gums healthy. We have a lot of reports. This is feedback from people using these, and we've been selling these now for about 2 years. But we get a ton of feedback from people that it helps stimulate hair growth, that it is really good for reducing wrinkles in the skin, and because of the far infrared, and far infrared technology is got a lot of documented stuff that's out on that is published science, published data. And so that is another product that I would say is really great. Now, for me, what I do is I plug it in right next to my bed, so it's literally sitting on my bed at night. And because I've got that swollen area right down here, I've been using it for about 5 to 10 minutes in the morning, 5 to 10 minutes before I go to bed. Like I said, when I started off the call, it's really helping me reduce the inflammation that I'm having with that. It's really knocked it down fast. I would say, within the next couple of days, it'll be next to gone, if not pretty much completely gone. But I'm also taking oil of oregano, which is a phenomenal anti-inflammatory, and doing some other things as well. So the terahertz wand, if you go onto our YouTube channel, you're going to see that people are using it for knee pain, ankle pain, back pain, very popular, sciatica. But it's also used a lot by massage therapists, and it's used a lot by people um, for massage therapy. But I want to say like reflexology or acupuncture. 1 hour of this being used, not that you need to use it for an hour, is equal to 10 hours of acupuncture, right? So basically, it's also really good to use it on all the different parts of the hand and all the different parts of the foot. And so you have a lot of, I guess we call them pressure points, but a lot of um, pressure points or neural pathways that go into your hands, the bottom of your feet, and your ears. And so when you get into ancient medicine and traditional Chinese medicine and those types of things, acupuncture with the hand is super popular because you can technically reach just about every organ in the body through your hands and feet. And one of the testimonials that we got, which was actually a phenomenal testimonial, was a woman who had a real bad sinus infection, and she was using the wand on her feet because she was going to send, when you use it on the feet, it literally sends the body through those channels, those neural pathway channels. And before she even got to her head, the all the congestion literally drained out of her body by using it on her feet. So if you look at reflexology, if you look at acupuncture, if you look at those different things and acupressure, you'll find that there's like a pressure point for every part of the body where you can reach internal organs. And many times, tools like this will start off first and say, before you actually get to the area that you're going to work on, hit this part of your hand, hit this part of your foot. You can pull up reflexology uh, charts and look at that and get that information. It's A lot of that information is available. So that is another thing to do just for general wellness, just for sending energy through your body. You'll find that it really does, like, it kind of pumps you up. It literally does send energy into the body. A lot of times for me, I'll use it around the face. Now, being in my 50s, I would say, I'm not doing too bad, but a lot of what I like to do is what I call prevention, right? So I'm not necessarily worried about if things are really bad, but I will use it up around my hairline. I'm getting a little thin back there, so I'll use a little bit back there, just to maintain, my hair and stimulate the hair follicles and blood flow into that area because obviously I want to maintain keeping my hair, but I've had testimonials and people on our channel that are in our testimonial section that have had really good results growing hair back. So for people that are experiencing hair loss and all those different things, that's another tool. Now, Daniel, who might be on this call or probably will see this call later because, like I said, I just jumped on with no notice. Um, has got very good documented testimonial with actually being completely bald on the top and having a lot of hair. But one of the things he did was he charged water with the wand. Now, when you use the terahertz wand, the goal is to point the wand down at a glass of water for about a minute, right? So, and this is actually coffee, which probably shouldn't be drinking that, but I am cold brew, but I dump a ton of cinnamon in it and some MCT oil, if anybody knows what that is. But basically, when you charge the water, what it does is it declusters the water. It charges the water, it gives it energy. But water molecules in general have a tendency to cluster and clump. So water molecules usually cluster in groups of 18 to 20 molecules, and therefore they don't get direct absorption into the cell. But when you use the wand on the water, or whatever it is you're drinking, tea, coffee, whatever it is, juice, it basically declusters the molecule and it lines them up in a linear fashion so that that way the individual water molecule can get absorbed directly into the cell. And when that happens, before you use the wand and after, well, when you use it before it gets in there, you have this charged water molecule now in the cell. And now you're hitting it with this terahertz wand frequency. And you're getting a better outcome, right? You're getting a much better outcome. I'm just gonna flip this on again for anybody that's just so charging the water, point it down on a glass of water. How long? 45 seconds, right? Um, the celestial chambers. The celestial chamber. I'm gonna get to that here in a minute. This is actually called the celestial pod behind me, but basically, when you charge the water, drink the water, get that charged water into the system, that is really going to give you a much better outcome, right? And these are used a lot, actually, too, for dogs, cats. I've got some testimonials. There's various different sizes of these, but they're used a lot. Actually, horses. Anybody that's in Virginia, there's an area out here called Middleburg, which is a very, very high end area of the country. Yeah, High Road. You can go to healthylifetechnology.com. Um, I'll type that in. I think Diane did for me also. Thanks, Diane, but I'll go ahead and do it again. Um, and I'm just gonna put it out there that when you get older, you do get a little smarter. And I'm not saying I am, but I will say that I know I can't multitask. So you can see while I start typing, I have to stop talking. So yeah, and you can go on there. They're under frequency. There's various different sizes. Now, the thing for me, because I've got this abscess and I'm getting rid of this thing, the one I've got at the house is the smallest one. People will say, well, which wand should I get? Well, get the one that's the most affordable, right? There is a big blue one. I've got that at my desk. I'm actually using that one here at the office. This is the most popular one. It's the 7.0. But you charge the water. Now, people are using it a lot for dogs, stiffness, soreness, bad hips, tumors. A lot of tumor stuff has been knocked out with these things. So people will ask, can I use it on my dog or cat? Yeah, cats obviously are going to be a little more sensitive, trying to wrangle them in to get them to sit through that. But these have three different speeds. So you can just go with the lowest speed that you need. You don't have to go with, the highest one. Ultimately, when it comes down to it, it's not even so much even about length of time or any of that. It also really gets into consistency of use, right? So consistency of use is really, in all honesty, going to be more important than length of time. But if you're going to use it on your face, I would say 5 to 7 minutes. Now, I lived in San Diego, California for 30 years. I love the sun. I'm always in the sun. And I will tell you that, there's definitely some stuff that was here and there still is. And obviously, I'm not trying to, you know, go back where I don't have any wrinkles or, any of that. But they've greatly been reduced using the wand. I use it a lot around the eyes, around here, up in here, in there. But like I said earlier, I'm always layering technology too. I eat a ton of olive oil, and I'm also doing a lot of things from a diet perspective to try to get stuff into my body that assists the body to be able to rejuvenate and do what the body can do, right? So I'm not, even though I'm using technology, I'm not necessarily relying on that as the end all. I'm still trying to do things that are also very beneficial. Um, and so, Ro, you talked about Jared Rand. Jared has been working on that for a while. I know that he was trying to get a medbed pod and a medbed celestial chamber put together. I'm just going to get out of the way here. You can kind of see this one that we've got here in our technology room, if you will. And this one's got a lot of, it has 9 different modalities in it. Unfortunately, I'm not very intelligent when it comes to, um, well, yeah, I haven't heard back from him. I mean, mainly because he hasn't really, yeah, funding. It's just, to build a prototype is half the battle, and then once you build a prototype, then to get it into a manufacturing phase. And ultimately the bottom line really with any pod is what kind of technology are they running in it, right? Because the pod is really just the outer shell. What you really want to know is what are they running inside of it. So the most powerful technology really that we're seeing and using right now is plasma based energy technology. Um, that would be technology where you have dual tube plasma energy systems that are spinning side to side. They collide in the middle, and then they create this scalar energy field. I talked about that yesterday, but one of the things that I did not talk about, because I'm just, I'm not really scripting stuff out. Um, but it's also photons, right? Photon light energy. So from those tubes, the photons coming off that light energy penetrates and go right into the body. So there's multiple different things happening when you're using those types of energy systems. And anybody out there who's familiar with the EE system is doing something very similar. They call it phase conjugation, where you're running everything together. It implodes, all the negative frequencies disappear, all the positive frequencies sort of engulf and create this massive energy field. And the way the EE system is working, because it's not doing it with plasma-based tubes, the plasma-based tubes do it. They throw off the light and they throw it, and that whole thing is being done. And there's an RF generator that's throwing off a wide bandwidth of frequencies. So you're getting a massive bandwidth of frequencies. With the EE system, it's doing it with lasers, and the lasers are invisible. So there's usually from 4 corners, the lasers are coming in. The lasers collide, so when they're setting up these EE systems, they're engineering them so that the lasers can collide in the middle of the room. We call that the 0 point in the middle. And then once that 0 point, once they've collided, they're creating this energy field. Now, because the lasers are invisible, they run the TV sets, and the TV sets run these screens, which is basically photon light energy, which is kind of making up for not having the tubes, right, that the plasma energy systems would have. And the EE systems are, those are very, very popular. They pretty much put those all over the world. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of testimonials on those. So, for anybody that's out there and they say, hey, where can I go, to get access to some of this technology? there's two websites you can go to. The first one with the plasma systems is therify.net, which is THERAPHI.net. You can go on there, go to the website, and then there's a link there that says centers, and they have centers all over the world. And then in addition to that, if you wanted to go find a real type of a med bed type technology that's available now, in addition to therify.net, you could go to eesystem.com, and they have got also centers all over the planet. So a lot of the technology is becoming, very easy to find and very easy to get to. And, so there's big pieces of technology that you don't want to necessarily have to purchase. Um, we have the celestial pod back here behind me that has 9 different modalities in it, 9 different technologies: ozone, chromotherapy, red light therapy, gyrotherapy, um, terahertz frequency. So you're getting a bunch of stuff simultaneously when you lay in this. And I don't know if I can really turn my computer a little bit more. Every time I turn it, I turn it the wrong way. Camera left, camera right, right? But this thing here, and this the red light, you've got all the crystals and stuff down on this, and that thing vibrates. And that's a really neat piece of technology. And these aren't real expensive per se. I think, ballpark, they're if you mention on the video, they're about 15 grand, which is, it's a lot of money, but relatively speaking, if you're, opening a wellness center, you're looking at a infrared sauna, it's right about in there, and it's going to have all the same features. It does heat up, but it's really, really good for cleansing the lymphatic system. And Ro, yes, uh, uh, Jared Rand has huge connections. I believe Jared Rand is also somebody that's been in the space programs. Ro, you could let me know if that's true or not. I believe he is, but there's a lot of people when it gets to this medbed technology and medbed information. Um, there's off planet programs going on, right? And a lot of these people have been in these off planet programs, and yeah. So I think Jared was also one of those people that was in those off planet programs, and there's so many rabbit holes you can drop down into. And I know other people that have been in those programs, and I know people that have actually used the real med beds. I know people that have used those 20 and back, technologies to reverse themselves back 20 years. Uh, I can get into that a little bit too. One thing about me is that I don't know. I don't like. I don't know. I'm usually pretty much straight to the point. And when it comes to 20 year reversal technology for med beds, um, that technology is out there. It's not accessible to us, but I know people that have used it. And I would say that I do believe that it does take a toll on your body. Initially you're going back 20, and I think that's great. What I always tell people is that there's two ways of measuring your age. The first is your chronological age. That is what is on your driver's license, right? So um, you have a chronological age, which is on your driver's license, and then you have a biological age. And the biological age is really what measures you up to your true potential, right? Because you could be 50 years old and chain smoking and, eating Cheetos on the couch, and you're 50, but your body is 70. And, you could also be 50 years old, knocking out 100 plus push-ups a day, eating really fit, and be somebody that's in their 30s biologically. And so, in my real opinion of all this age stuff, it really gets down to being fit, staying active, eating right, and doing all the right things. If you're sitting on the couch smoking cigarettes, or let's just be honest, you're just lazy and you don't want to get out and do anything, and you just want to jump in one of those things. Like the thing that's nice about, yeah, well, they can reverse 40, but they do it in segments of 20. It has something to do with the physics of the thing. They can actually go back more, but there's something about the physics of 20 years that they do them in 20-year increments. And the way that those programs work, they can go for extended amounts of time. Basically, they can pull them out of this time-space curriculum, send them off planet, have them do whatever, a lot of stuff out there, and then bring them back. Before they bring them back, they'll do the age reversal, and then they will basically drop them back into our time, place, circumstance. So even though they went off planet for 20 plus years, uh, they really only gone here in this time, place, curriculum for 2 minutes, right? That's how these things work. And so, and there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people on the video that I did yesterday. If anybody gets a chance to watch that, um, there's a lot of people that I've listed off and I put in the credits on that video that are people that have been in those programs that have interviewed other people that have been in those programs. And and so, it's a culmination of a lot of different people, a lot of different interviews, a lot of different channels, but they all corroborate, the same information, which is there's a lot more going on out there than what we know of. And that's really where, if you're going to get into med beds and talking about med beds, um, that's where the real med bed, all that stuff is coming from, which is off planet, extraterrestrial technology, extraterrestrial races that are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years more advanced than we are, uh, uh, technologically wise, spiritually wise. They're much more advanced in some cases, spiritually, perhaps. Um, the whole thing with all the different extraterrestrials and different extraterrestrial races in itself is just a whole nother that thing could go on for months and years. But um but they're going off planet. There's a lot of access to a lot of technologies. We interface much with a lot of these civilizations that are off planet that have actually been on planet also for pretty much the course of history as well as we know it, as far as humans go. Um, and, like with anything, there's good, there's bad, that whole thing. But I think that, what you're seeing is what they're pushing for is full disclosure. They're trying to get the powers that be to kind of just say, hey, man, they're here. They've always been here. And, they're going to start kind of revealing themselves. And what they're trying to do is these, I don't want to say partial disclosures, but they're starting to say, "Oh, UFO over here, UFO over there," and "Oh, wow, look at that." And they're kind of releasing it slowly, and they've been doing it over the course of time so that um, it's not such a shock. They're kind of warming people up to that, but that reality, is probably going to get you know put out to the forefront here, possibly in my lifetime. I mean, there's always that ebb and flow of certain people want it out, certain people don't. It's a benefit to some, it might not be a benefit to others. And that whole thing kind of, plays its part in the background. Um, but that whole thing is really where all this culmination of all this technology comes from. I mean, you get into a lot of the stuff with Roswell and all these different things, and that gets into reverse engineering, and just there's a lot out there. It really, in all honesty, you could probably spend about an hour or 2 hours and get a pretty good summary of what's going on. And you know, I would just say just go out and do the research and don't even worry about, putting opinions on it. Just start researching it and find out from really authorized sources that, there's probably a lot more going on out there than what we probably think of. But when it's all said and done, we all have to get up, go to work. We still have to take care of kids, or we have to, do all these different things. So there's only so much time in the day. The bottom line is that, hey, even if it is going on, it is great, whatever. I still have a bunch of stuff that I have to do. Um, Nasara, Jasara, all those things, you know, um, they're all going to roll out in time, but I guess it's a little tough to say when that's all going to happen. Now, every time I keep drinking my coffee that's loaded with cinnamon, and the other thing that we've got, so the three best products for health and wellness technology that I think that I've found are the sound frequency watch called the Wave Watch. God, I'm so bad at this. Can see there's men frequencies, women frequencies, pathogens. Just as an example, I'm going to go to pain, and then I'm going to go to dental, and then I don't know if you can see that, but anybody that's just jumping on, I've got kind of an abscess, and then I'm going to go to uh, dental infection, and then it's running that frequency, and you can hear it if I turn it up. I'm not going to make it too loud, but so while I'm sitting here just going about my daily thing, I'm going to run that frequency into my wrist. And the Wave Watch is an amazing device. I love it. Um, there's, man, if you're a guy out there, the chances are you've got issues going to the bathroom a lot, which is stemming from enlarged prostate, which, if you track that back, it's a lot of that's being said to be caused by microplastics. Everything we're eating and doing right now is covered in plastic. And so microplastics and the absorption of all that is creating a lot of issues with men. That's one of them. Dental, even if I don't have dental issues, I still run the mouth, teeth, and gum frequencies because I want to maintain good teeth and I want to maintain good gums. And I'm always running stuff for maintenance. But I'll run enlarged prostate. And on the bioscanner, that's in another section here, the bioscanner can basically read any single part of your body, and it can tell you exactly what's going on, what's good, what's bad. And I got that thing done, and my pancreas, of all things, came up on the not so good list, right? And I would have never known. I consider myself fairly pretty healthy, actually. Um, but since I found out that my pancreas is not in the best of shape, there's a whole set of organ things here on on the Wave Watch as well. And so I'll run the pancreas frequencies on there. The bioscanner, which we also sell, which is a phenomenal device. Um, that can look at every single part of your body, and it gives you a 3D image of it, and it can go into your DNA, your chromosomes. It really goes, it gets very, 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 very detailed and very good to take a look at anything you should be focusing on for energy and frequency based things to do or things to eat or not eat or whatever. But that's another thing, the Wave Watch. So, headaches, people use it a lot. There's a whole set in there for Lymes. There's a lot of them in there for kids. There's a whole set of frequencies for seniors. There's a whole set of frequencies for what I call the bad cells, the cells that you don't want in your body, the cells that basically will cause tumors. A whole series of those. Just a little bit of everything, but it's really good for maintenance, right? So the sound frequency watch, the grounding bed covers and bed sheets, and with the coiled silver, and then the terahertz wand. These are definitely our top selling products, mainly because they offer the most benefit for the least amount of money, and they can just be used by the everyday person for health and wellness and normal maintenance. Like I was saying earlier, the terahertz wand, skin, wrinkles, pain, stiffness, soreness, arthritis. I'm using it right now to knock down the that swelling that I've got right down here, and it has done a phenomenal job in just the last 24 to 48 hours. Um, but with that being said, these are energy and frequency based technology products that are available now. We can get into more stuff with med beds, and we will. Anybody that has questions, feel free to throw them into the chat. And we're just starting off doing our first live today, which is kind of spur of the moment, but been getting a lot of requests, a lot of people saying, "Hey, when are you going to go do a live?" And I said, "Well, let me just figure this thing out, jump on and do it. And then we'll start scheduling these and start doing more of those in the future." So if anybody has any questions, let me know. And if not, thank you so much for taking the time to jump on the call today. I appreciate everybody's time and look forward to talking to you and getting more information out, answering more questions, and sharing all these exciting things that we're learning right now in the world around us. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end the call. Have a great weekend, everybody, and thank you.